Everybody, it's your boy Bugatti NYC. Like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Turn that fan off over there, it's kind of loud. Want to check in with y'all this Sunday morning. Y'all probably thought I wasn't going to be here, but of course I am. How everybody doing this weekend? Hope everybody's having a good one, winding down. If you're in the city, New York, you know it's raining. It's kind of nasty out there, but you know it is what it is. It's still still wintertime, so you know there's nothing that we can't expect when it comes down to the wintertime. Hope everybody out there doing good. Hope everybody's feeling well. Up early on this Sunday morning, did their little workout. I just finished doing mine. Yeah, I just want to check in with you guys because, of course, you know, we always got things going on and we want to check in and make sure that we are keeping up to date with what's going on. We got a lot of stuff in the news today, actually, too. I meant to tell y'all that. We got stuff like defund the sanctuary cities, which is what Tom Homan and President Trump is talking about right now because they feel as if the federal government and certain people in certain sanctuary cities are not planning to get down with what they're talking about as far as like helping them to deport illegal migrants and people of that nature. They're talking about, yo, we're not going to give y'all that federal money that we normally used to give you. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel that that's something that should not be used as a bargaining chip? Like money that's already supposed to be, you know, allocated to go somewhere. Do you think that they should play around with that? Again, like I always tell you, Trump is a businessman. So he always likes to leverage certain things. You give me this, I give you that. So it's what's to be expected. And also, it may be what the American people were asking for, which is the reason why he was reelected. So my question to you guys is, do you think that that's fair, or do you think it's right or wrong for them to withhold funding to sanctuary cities who are actually giving major pushback to helping to get rid of the illegal immigrants? What do you guys think about that topic right there? Get on top of that. Let me know what y'all think. I actually made a mistake and left this other line in here this morning. I forgot and just noticed it, the search for the suspect. But we also have another New York City man, since we want to concentrate and keep to crimes in the city, which is crazy and it's consistent due to the fact that we're overpopulated. New York City man is in critical condition now after catching fire in a train station. What's crazy is they're saying catching fire. How do you catch fire? You don't just catch a blaze. Someone has to ignite you. You have to walk next to something which is actually on fire. Or there must be something that probably sparks in your pocket, electrical, you know, maybe one of those vapes or something like that. So they have not said exactly how it happened, but they are saying that they're looking for a suspect. So we know it's not like a vape pen or something like that that blew up in someone's hands. Also, what we got the new Illinois laws that are about to take effect in 2025 that you guys might want to look into. I think actually when it comes down to, I'm sorry, I don't want to jump the gun, but as far as what I was talking about just now with the fires being set on people in the train, it seems as if it's happening to a lot of homeless people when they're sleeping. And it doesn't seem as if it's something that we used to do as far as like citizens. It might be something that migrants are now starting to do. I'm not trying to put no hate on y'all or no blame, but for the majority of what we've been seeing, it's been like migrants, illegal migrants that have mental issues that have been doing stuff like that. So yeah, the man is now in critical condition because they've been set on fire. Corporate America is about to do a about face. Let you guys check and see what we're talking about that. Also, we got the Biden administration who was blocked from selling parts of the wall. So yeah, the parts of the wall that you probably heard that were about to be being sold, auctioned off. What was it? I think there's what was that? A Texas judge said no, they're not going to allow Biden and the administration to sell the wall off. So that's another thing. Then we got another man recently injured from trying to burglarize a Florida home. One assailant was killed and the other one got away. Check this out. Let me show you guys something real quick. Because we have a lot to cover today. Want to make sure that we get on topic. And want to start it from the top, like I said, just to let you guys know that we're here. Check this out.
City. Police say the suspect set a woman on fire on the subway in Brooklyn and watched her burn. Her horrifying death was caught on video. The Brooklyn district attorney prosecuting the case said this gruesome and senseless act of violence against a vulnerable woman will be met with the most serious consequences. Fox confirmed that the 33-year-old suspect entered the country illegally in Arizona back in June of 2018. Just days later, he was removed from the country, deported, and returned to Guatemala. It's unclear when he re-entered the United States. No one knows. Overacting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf says it speaks to a larger problem.
He obviously came back in as a gotaway, and there's been over 2.5 million gotaways under the last 4 years because Border Patrol agents aren't out there on the line patrolling the border. Instead, they're in Border Patrol facilities facilitating and processing illegal aliens.
The New York Post covered with this headline, Up in Flames. It also calls out New York Governor Kathy Hochul. On Sunday, the same day that the crime was committed, some 8 hours later, she took a victory lap, boasting about lower subway crime rates. New York Democratic Congresswoman Richie Torres posted, has there ever been a more tone-deaf governor in the history of New York?
And this is what I was trying to say. We have a terrible governor, Hochul the Jokel. I've been saying this ever since she came into office. I feel as if she's been put into play just on some, let's get women into the government. Let's let them do whatever. She doesn't know what she was doing. She's the assistant governor to Cuomo, who was the governor. And she was put into place because they ousted him because of all types of stories and stuff that they made from him. That's how I believe. If we still had Governor Cuomo as our governor in New York, things would be phenomenal. I don't care about what you guys are trying to say about the homes and stuff like that, because like I say again, when we were going through COVID, that was the only person that actually was coming on, giving us information and letting us know how to possibly even handle dealing with COVID on a daily basis. People tuned into the news just to see what Governor Cuomo would say, because he was the only real sensible person when it came down to what was being said. I don't care who don't agree with me. I just know how I feel, and I was living through it. There was days when we were out here dealing with COVID when we didn't even know if you're gonna get it or if you're gonna be alive. So when you got an assistant governor that takes over a place that doesn't know what she's doing, she's very weak, giving out all the wrong information just to try to make people go along with her crap, to get this congestive pricing thing to go through, to send more people on the train to possibly get injured. She's a jokel, and she needs to retire and get out of government, period.
And incoming Border Czar Tom Homan with this.
She has a green light law. ICE and CBP can't even work with local law enforcement. So Governor Hochul, shame on you. There's nothing you can say that's going to make this right in New York.
Congresswoman Claudia Tenney of New York with us now. Congresswoman, thank you for joining us. So much about this case is just out.
Want the fastest working GLP-1 for half the price? Row now.
Did you know Tetris was the first video game played in space?
Outrageous.
Yes, it just gets more outrageous every day. You know, things are going to continue to happen until we have a new administration that actually deals with this crisis, the border crisis. President Trump has promised to do that, as has Tom Homan. And he mentioned the green light law, which was put in place actually by Governor Cuomo, and they refused to repeal it. Not to mention the sanctuary cities. And this Guatemalan, who was an illegal immigrant with a criminal record, who was deported, was found at the Days Inn Hotel on 36th Street just last year. So he's been here, you know, getting food and shelter and all the accommodations, probably a cell phone, access to health care, and he probably would have been given, some kind of tuition assistance as an illegal immigrant based on New York's laws.
Because what happens is when you come in, they take care of you in sanctuary cities. You can make up a name, make up whoever you are, make up a lie and say, hey, I just came from my country, my village, and the cartel is trying to do this to us. I had to escape. I had no time to grab my stuff. Next thing you know, you come over here, carte blanche, EBT, working, doing whatever you want, committing crimes, go to jail, get right back out. Even if you're on parole, no problem. Go ahead, do what you got to do. Keep doing what you're doing, no problem.
So Kathy Hochul is doing nothing about this. And by the way, she recently did a victory lap saying how safe it is to ride on New York City subways. Now, who would you rather have? Would you rather have this guy running around setting, innocent women on fire, or a former Marine, Daniel Penny, who was saving people, seeing a violent person and protecting lives? And thankfully, he was, found innocent by a jury of his peers. But this is the crisis that we face in New York, and it's not just New York City. It's all over New York because these laws apply all over New York. It is a sanctuary state. As Tom Homan said, the Green Light Law.
See, he got the New York shirt on. He's so happy to represent the city as he was getting popped and looking like a nut. Got a haircut, come over here getting money and everything. Watch the lady as she went into flames and waved fan the flames so that the flames could get bigger. And we're protecting people like this in sanctuary cities, y'all. What do y'all think about that? You think that's okay to have people like this running around the city? How did they not know who he was? They had his information when he went to the hotel. Already knew that he was not supposed to be here. He was here illegally.
Prohibits police officers and different law enforcement agencies from working together. The exact opposite of what the 9/11 Commission, a bipartisan commission, recommended after 9/11 to prevent any type of terrorist act or these types of acts coming in. So when you have people here illegally and you allow them to be gotaways and have no vetting, this is sadly what the American people get, and it's really tragic.
Congresswoman, to the point you made a moment ago about Daniel Penny, we noted, and it's been noted on several of our programs, that there were a number of people who just kind of stood by and watched what was happening. Do you think that's potentially a Penny effect? That people, after what happened to him, don't want to get involved?
Well, it certainly has a chilling effect. I don't know if that's a little bit of New York City or people don't feel confident enough to help themselves. But that's why we have to have dangerous people out of the way. That's the major.
Well, first of all, if you get involved and if you have a weapon in New York and you mess around and win, you could go to jail. That's in a regular fight. I used to fight a lot. You mess around and win a fight, you going to jail. They gonna find a way. Like, hey, yeah, you hurt the person and you did this and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, so, I'm not too keen on helping people also, because you can mess around and get yourself hurt as well, trying to help somebody. So no, sorry. And when it comes down to the border, there's more information that we do have here. I just wanted to read this off because I think that this is very important when it comes down to, information that's very important about our sanctuary cities. Because it's not just one. We have sanctuary cities like Los Angeles. We have Connecticut states. We have Chicago. Illinois. We have, I think there's a few of them. There's about 11 sanctuary states that actually cover and shield these guys from being arrested and taken out. So check this out. Donald Trump's incoming border czar, Tom Homan, has vowed to slash federal funding to states that do not cooperate with the administration's promise of mass deportations of undocumented migrants. Several states, including California, Illinois, New York, and Arizona, have vowed to push back against Trump's plan to legal challenges are a near certainty. Trump has said that he plans to use U.S. military to conduct the deportations, and Homan has said that he guarantees that federal funding can be wielded as a tool against jurisdictions that stand in the way. There are at least 13 million undocumented immigrants living in the U.S. This is going to happen, Homan said, and of a threat to cut federal funding to states that do not cooperate. Across the U.S., Democratic-run cities and states have said that they plan to resist the mass deportation plans. Last week, Los Angeles City passed the Sanctuary City Ordinance to bar using local resources to help federal immigration authorities. So they passed the Sanctuary City Ordinance saying that they're not going to use local resources to help federal immigration authorities. They're not going to help ICE. They're not going to have anything to do with helping them find addresses and things of that nature. They're not going to cooperate, basically. Among the states that whose governors have so far said they will not aid mass deportations are California, Arizona, and New Mexico. 3 of 4 U.S. states along the U.S.-Mexico border. I think that's very severe right there, because these states that are talking about doing this, they're right at the border. So if they're letting them in at the border, everything else is secondary. And now they're saying, this is another part of this that said, migrants hope that Trump mass deportations only for criminals. In Texas, on the other hand, authorities have said that they prepared to offer President-elect the incoming administration a 1,400-acre, 567-hectare parcel of land for the processing, detention, and coordination of the largest violent criminals in the nation's history. So there's parts of Texas that's willing to give up land, willing to give up facilitations in order to process and get the people, the illegal migrants, back to their countries of origin, basically. What you guys think about that? Because it's going to be pretty expensive to do this. It's saying about $86 billion. But over the course of years of dealing with illegal migrants, you're going to have to spend at least about $400 billion. So they're saying, why not deal with that right now and get it over with? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today? Happy Sunday morning. Mac Mama Spice. Unreal. Defund all traitors. J Productions. Nice setup, G. Will, they can all be prosecuted. They can be prosecuted, and they are going to get prosecuted. That's 2 things, Will. Not only can they be prosecuted, they will be prosecuted. And I got some information on that coming up. Glad you said that. Let's keep it moving. Since we up on this Sunday morning, let's see what else I'm going to give y'all right now, because we got to do this all in line and make sure that we get this right. All right, so all right, let's go here. We just talked about that, but this is something on the land that I want you guys to see, because this is 34th Street, Herald Square, and this is the area where something recently happened, probably another illegal migrant. A New York man in critical condition after catching fire. Again, how do you catch fire unless you have something in your pocket, or a vape pen or something? But to me, somebody set this man on fire in Penn Station.
Investigating after a man was found with burns to both his legs and upper body at New York City's Penn Station. Police and fire responding to the scene and taping off the area Friday evening. Tonight, authorities say the 67-year-old man, who has not been identified, was rushed to the hospital, but is expected to survive. Law enforcement sources telling NBC New York the man appeared to be homeless, and a preliminary investigation revealing it does not appear to be self-inflicted.
So that's the question I have now. Do you guys think there's copycats running around here? Same crime, same place, same situation. And there's cameras all throughout. But again, what's the cameras going to help ATF after the fact? Not helping at all. Somebody gets shot and killed, I'd rather prevent the murder than try to find the person that did it.
It is still unclear how the fire may have started.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I'm unsure what to think about that.
This is a person right here. The incident comes less than a week after the fatal burning of a sleeping woman inside.
And as you can see, it's blurred, but I don't know if you noticed that. That was that guy, Sebastian, right there, fanning the flames on this lady as she was on fire. From what a friend of mine told me, because I was just imagining what the pain was probably like for this person, because it was just like unimaginable to me to think about somebody being set on fire while they're on the train. Don't care if you're homeless, don't care what, but that's something that you don't do. It's barbaric beyond. That's why I say he should be set on fire. Channel might be taken for saying that, but I think he needs to be. The same crime, the same way that he did the crime, same fate for him. No, straight up, like Robin Harris used to say, everything death. Robbery, death. This, death. Because then they're going to know not to do it again. Chop the hand off. He said, the reason why we can't get nobody to pull a switch is because the reason why we don't do it is because we can't find nobody to pull a switch. The old comedian that I know, he said, shit, give me the job. 2 at a time. Gotta go. Real talk. We got to get tough on them the way that they're acting out on us, straight up and down.
At a New York City subway car, who officials say appeared to be homeless. Brooklyn's DA, Eric Gonzalez, speaking on Friday after a grand jury indicted the man accused of setting and...
Yeah, so we paid for that haircut, paid for him to be here, gave him some money, put him in a homeless shelter, walking around just a bat out of hell, just nuts, doing whatever he want to do. Fire flame, baby. Fire flame. Leave that suit on him. Leave the suit. Ronson all.
spreading the fire with murder and arson.
This was a malicious deed, a sleeping, vulnerable woman on our subway system.
Investigators say Sebastian Cepeda, a Guatemalan citizen who entered the U.S. illegally, watched from a platform bench as the woman burned. The 33-year-old was not present in court on Friday, and his attorney declined to comment afterwards. The violence comes as homelessness in the U.S. rose a staggering 18% from a year ago, according to the annual report issued by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The report noted the lack of affordable housing, the surge of asylum seekers, and...
It's the lack of affordable housing, but for me, it's the lack of affordable housing for American citizens. And number two, there should have been no surge of asylum seekers because we already have a lack of affordable housing and we don't have money to take care of ourselves. Natural disasters, I know that's about to come up, but let's aid them in their country and fix their area if possible before letting more people come over here, take our resources, and let us have less.
Natural disasters all as contributing factors.
I get you, but no. I don't know who agree with me, but that's my take on it. That's how I feel about it right now. Maybe I'm an a-hole, call me what you want. Really don't care. I really do not care. Real talk. Check this out. Since we want to, I like to keep everything rounded. Don't just want to stay in New York all the time. Want to find other information from what's going on in different places. Check out what's going on in Illinois. New laws have just passed. New laws have just passed. A lot of new laws have just passed in Illinois. Check this out.
An hour, the state legislature approved that gradual increase nearly 5 years ago. Before 2020, the minimum wage had been stuck at $8.25 for nearly 10 years, but it has been steadily climbing to reach $15 this year.
And also beginning next year, bigger companies must share pay scale details in their job postings. This new regulation updates the state's Equal Pay Act and affects employers with 15 or more staff members.
There is also a change coming to how vaping companies can advertise their products. The Prevent Youth Vaping Act is getting updated to make it illegal for a company to promote vapes in a way that could make someone think it's not a tobacco product.
Okay, this right here is a couple of schools around my neighborhood. I was walking to go to the supermarket one day. I see a little kid running. Another little kid runs around the corner. He's probably like 12 years old. He's like, yo, you want to hit this? Takes out the vape pen and passes it back and runs back. They think it's cool. They really think this is cool. Electric whatever in a cartridge, and you have no idea what they're inhaling. School kids, school children.
A new House bill is set to make it mandatory for anyone selling a catalytic converter.
Yeah, that's a whole nother situation. Oh, you know, but we got to let it rock.
To provide its part number along with the ID number of the vehicle it was taken from. This a tobacco product.
Okay, so the catalytic converter thing, it's kind of like pipes and certain stuff in different cities that I know. You have to have identification when you drop the copper off or whatever the metals are and things like that. And then when it comes down to these new catalytic converters, I like what they're planning on doing. They want you to put a number from the car that it came from if somebody tries to bring it in. This way there is a track record of whoever's trying to steal these catalytic converters. They're doing a lot of smart stuff in Illinois. We need to take some of these laws and implement them in different places.
A new House bill is set to make it mandatory for anyone selling a catalytic converter to provide its part number along with the ID number of the vehicle it was taken from. This new legislation aims to tackle the rising issue of catalytic converter thefts in Chicago and throughout Illinois. The state ranked 4th in the country with more than 2,000 theft claims from the years 2020 to 2022.
And next week, you're going to also be able to get a mobile driver's license and ID. This digital ID will be accepted by law enforcement instead of a physical card. You can also choose to hide some personal information on the digital ID cards, such as your address, when you're just using it for something like buying alcohol.
And you can say goodbye to people parking on the shoulder of the highway near.
All right, we don't need to know all y'all little laws. I just wanted them to know the stuff that's gonna actually be major and impactful, because we like to get to the core of stuff over here at the bottom line, because we are the bottom line. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? What you say, what you say, what you say, what you say. Let's go over here. Anyone in your house? Let me see. Make black people nice again. Nobody vetted them. All right, the Selena's review. Okay, let's keep it going, y'all. Let's keep it going. What we got? What I got for y'all? I got some good stuff coming up. Woo! Okay, here we go. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. One man was killed and one man was injured, right? After the homeowner opened fire in a home invasion. It's one of the coolest things that happened this weekend. I think this is one of the best stories that I have for you guys right now, because it shows vigilance, it shows resourcefulness, and it shows fighting back against exactly who we're talking about right now. Watch this. Watch this.
Mark Wilson in for Linda Hurtado.
And I'm Haley Hines. Thanks for joining us. First at 5, they were masked and armed with a crowbar. But 2 men who broke into a Bradenton home last night ended up coming face to face with a homeowner who was armed with a gun. Investigators say the homeowner fired shots, killing one of the intruders. The other ran off, but was arrested blocks away. As Fox 13's Kimberly Quizon tells us, the sheriff is now praising that homeowner.
Manatee Sheriff Rick Wells says the homeowner did exactly what was needed to be done to protect his family. He says the suspect, who was arrested, came to the U.S. on a 90-day visa from Chile that expired in September.
Just after 9 Thursday night, a man and his wife were in their home on Hickory Hammock Circle in Bradenton's River Club when they got a security alert.
They hear this commotion going on. They see these suspects that are masked up, trying to break into the home. They were able to pry that window open.
The homeowner only had seconds to act.
He knew that something bad was about to happen, and he didn't stall. He grabbed his firearm. He told his wife to get into a safe spot.
Manatee Sheriff Rick Wells says the husband came face to face with the masked men. One was already inside his home, and another was climbing through a window. Nearby neighbors heard what happened next.
I sat down next to the lanai, the door was open, and I vividly heard, 3 gunshots.
27-year-old Jorge Nestevan Flores Toledo of Mexico, who goes by Annabelle Miller Valencia, was injured and later died. Detectives say he had been arrested for burglary in Illinois and had an active warrant for a parole violation. The other suspect, 39-year-old Michelle Sotomelo, ran off. A Manatee Sheriff's K-9 stopped him a few blocks away.
I praise this husband for doing.
No, not just the Manatee Sheriff caught him, but a Manatee Sheriff K-9 caught the other one. So that means he was hit, had a bullet, tried to run, got away, and then the dog caught him. We need more stuff like this going on. Bradenton, use this as a standard, as a staple. Protect yourselves out there. They're saying, but be careful if you're in a sanctuary city like New York, where you can't protect yourself. You can't, because if you win, you lose, because you're going to go to jail like Daniel Petty and have a DA like Alvin Bragg try to lock you up for defending yourself. Might not want to live in a sanctuary city like I do.
What he needed to do to protect his home and protect his family.
Sheriff Wells says Sotomelo entered the U.S. from California on a now expired 90-day visa from Chile.
Somehow made it to Tampa about six days ago.
Investigators are now working to determine if Sotomelo and Flores Toledo targeted other homes. In court, Sotomelo used a translator as he was ordered held in custody.
I just want to say that I never had any firearms.
I don't want you to interpret any facts because...
While deputies are working to figure out why the pair...
Yeah. Don't give me no facts on the case. Y'all heard the judge trying to go ahead and no, you in arraignment right now. All we want to know is guilty or not guilty. We gonna handle your ass later. We don't want to hear nothing about what happened and how you feel. This is not the case right now. You ain't on trial, and your boy is already gone. So you know what that means? You're gonna have to eat that murder, depending on what state you're in. If you commit a crime with somebody and they die, you actually do the time for the murder. This is phenomenal. I love it. Do me a favor, y'all. If y'all like. You want to share, subscribe to the channel, I appreciate it. Stop right now. See, I have about 278 people in here with 6 likes. I appreciate all 6 of those people right there that took the time out to understand how much this takes to do, to understand that I do this every day. I wake up at the crack of dawn just to make sure I'm doing this for you. So I really appreciate those 6 people out of 293 people right now that appreciate what I'm doing. Thank you, 6. I appreciate y'all. All 6 of y'all, I rock with y'all. Matter of fact, leave me a message. I might send y'all a free t-shirt or something. All 6 people out of 200 and something. And some of y'all leaving now, but whatever. It's cool because I like the people that's down for me. I'm going to turn around and keep rocking, but I'm not going to kiss your butt for free since I'm already working. Now let's get back to what we got going on.
Came to Manatee County, Sheriff Wells says there's one undeniable fact.
The bottom line is, this is the state of Florida. You want to break into someone's home, you should expect to be shot.
Additional charges are pending, and detectives could charge Sotomelo with felony murder since his accomplice died while carrying out a crime.
That's what I'm talking about. I know the law. Told y'all. Told you. Yeah, man. Why you think I never did nothing stupid? Didn't commit no crimes. And then in certain states like, what is that, Louisiana, you can get the death penalty. I'm good. Nope, I'd rather work hard. No thanks. Change my mind. Oh, wanted to talk to you guys about something else that just happened. I don't know how many people we have here that saw the other episode that we did. It was about a week ago. But if you've been following the channel, you know that we've been hard on politics. We've been paying attention to what's going on around us. And we've been really, putting the information out there. So do you guys remember a few episodes when we actually saw the parts of the border that were being sold? Because they were trying to say, oh no, the Biden administration is only selling rusted parts of the border. They're not selling parts of the border that's no good. So we did some research ourselves and we looked and we found trucks that were actually trucking parts of the border off big chunks of the border that were only rusted. Let me tell you something about steel, U.S. steel. It's supposed to rust. It's okay for it to rust. It's supposed to rust. What do you think? You got people out there coating the steel or whatever like that? You either paint it or whatever, but steel is supposed to rust, number one. So they're trying to say, oh, it was rusting. It wasn't any good. That's because it was supposed to be being put up. Not only that, but we saw rows and rows and rows of border that was fine, only needed to be put up. And then we saw these same pieces of border being trucked away. And the excuse of the Biden administration is, oh, we have excess surplus. We had to get rid of it before a certain amount of time. We don't own it. Whatever the case may be, I found out that is a lie. And there's certain judges who feel the same way. So they overturned it, meaning the Biden administration can no longer sell parts of the border. Can't try to throw a monkey wrench in the mix right now, buddy, and mess up what's about to happen. We see you're trying to do it with pardons and other things, but this one ain't gonna work.
Texas court rules the Biden administration must immediately stop selling parts of the landmark border wall
From the first Trump administration. A major win for the president-elect's border security agenda, allowing him to use those materials in his second administration. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton celebrated this ruling, saying, quote, "We will hold his administration accountable," that is the Biden administration, "for illegally subverting our nation's border security until the very last day."
Now you see this? This is a judge. No, I'm sorry. The Attorney General Ken Paxton saying, we will hold his administration accountable for illegally subverting our nation's border security until their very last day in power. which is exactly what he's doing. He's stealing, he's robbing. It's a free-for-all, pardon party.
Power, end quote. Joining me right now, Republican strategist Bobby Everly and Democratic strategist Dante Mills. Dante,
Dante, I'm gonna say it straight up and down. Allegedly, he's a thunderer. Something's wrong with Dante. We allegedly, there's possibility that something wrong with Dante. We don't think he rapped too tight. When I was little, my mama used to say, instead of saying something wrong with him upstairs, we just say, we don't think Dante rapped too tight. Allegedly. I'm putting this out here as a pre-warning, because you might get angry at Dante in a minute for the stupid stuff he's about to say. Allegedly.
start with you. The president-elect had called the Biden administration selling and auctioning off portions of the wall illegal as well, and says that it has cost taxpayers millions of dollars. They've been doing this since 2023. A very odd decision to make after an executive order finally realizing that the immigration crisis had reached a chaos that no one could personally handle, including the Border Patrol officers. How does the decision to actually sell off parts of the wall impact Biden's legacy and the perception of Democrats?
It doesn't at all. We know that immigration is an important policy, but the plan under current President Joe Biden was not to use those pieces of material. That has nothing to do with a larger scale policy. He was actually trying to be efficient for the American people and save them money. So what he did is there was rusting steel. There was steel that wasn't going to be used. It was rusting out. So he allowed that steel to be sold to outside companies in order for it not to go to waste. It has nothing to do with the larger big picture of immigration. I think there's a national belief that we have to tighten the border and take steps we need to make our country safer. But this was just trying to save taxpayers their money.
I have to have Bobby's take on this because
How do you save taxpayers money when you're selling parts of the wall for 5 cents on the dollar, Dante? Don't think I'm telling you the truth? Please research what I'm telling you. How do you help the American taxpayers by making them lose money in a sale and then have to buy more border wall 6 years later at an increased rate? Dante is not wrapped too tight. Allegedly.
I think that that's a very reasonable answer, and a lot of people at home are saying, yeah, that makes total sense. It's rusting walls. We need to get rid of things that don't make sense, that don't work. But had those portions of the wall been used, we might not be where we are today. So, Bobby, what's your take on this?
Well, right. There was a hostility from day one from the Biden administration and an overt plan to open the border. I mean, we heard over and over again that this was just seasonal. There's no border crisis on.
So let me ask you guys a question, right? Real basic question. There's a gate. It's real high, about 3 stories high, but it's rusty. Is the rust going to prevent me from going over? Or is the rust going to have some effect on stopping me from going over? I think it's going to be doing the same job it's supposed to. If you know anything about, let's say, the Barclay Center, the way that it was created was so that they could have the rust start to come in more because it gives the building a little more rustic look. Sometimes they go for that. It's U.S. steel. It's supposed to rust. So all of this stuff about rust is bull. It's real bull. Also, where we at with our likes? Oh, we got 16 now. We got 300 people, but we got 16 likes. Appreciate that, y'all. Can we get some more? I was being sarcastic. I thought that y'all was going to keep on putting more likes up because I thought that y'all liked the content. But yeah, let me see what we got in here. And also, yeah, we accept super chats and all that. I would definitely read all that. Got you. We accept it. We good over here. If y'all like what we got going on, fall in line.
And on and on. They stopped producing and building the wall. And this is just kind of the Biden administration's attempt to, stick a thumb in the eye of the Trump administration, just like they were doing with some of these pardons, just like they were doing with last minute debt relief on loans, but they stopped that. A lot of maneuvers at the end that I think, to answer your question, will tarnish his legacy. This is just another maneuver because the American people understood that the Biden administration was not serious about illegal immigrations. That's why it was one of the top issues going into the election and in exit polling as well. But the Democrats failed miserably on this issue, and this is just Biden's last attempt to try and subvert Trump in some way before he comes into power.
Yep, that's how I look at it, and that's how we should all look at it. And it's a money grab. He protected his son all the way for 14 years back to make sure that nobody could get him by pardoning him. And it's just been a S show the whole time. It's been a show. All right, so also, I got one last thing for y'all. Check this out. I want y'all to see this. I might have a little bit more, but I want y'all to check this out because it's very important because a lot of people, they're doing an about face when it comes down to how they feel about endorsing Trump and how they feel about, you know, the policies which are coming forward. Even corporate America is now doing an about face. A lot of companies that weren't working with him and wanting to be a part of his policies as far as support, they're spending a lot of money for his upcoming inauguration. Probably over $100 million already. And you wouldn't believe who some of these companies are. Democrats, you may want to stop spending money with these companies because now they're actually endorsing Trump, believe it or not. Watch this.
It's so interesting to see this about face from these companies, sir. You know, President Trump is planning a big crackdown on illegal immigration during his first days in office. His incoming border czar, Tom Homan, telling Fox Business that this week that here's what it's going to cost. Watch.
We are talking about the biggest national security vulnerability this country has. $86 billion is a start. We need at least that to do this operation.
So it might be costly, but this is what the American people voted for, sir. And some Democrats across the country are now preparing resistance efforts to counter these plans. In fact, according to Politico, California Governor Gavin Newsom is considering a, quote, immigrant support plan for undocumented residents. That includes a support network of regional hubs to connect people at risk of deportation. I want to get your thoughts on the money that Congress is going to have.
So he's talking about creating regional hubs in California. Kind of stupid when you got ICE that's going to be in California. So now you're going to have places where these people are going to go to. Gavin Newsom, I think you need to give it up already. And unless you're going to try to use state funds and really exhaust your state budget to try to substitute the funding that's going to be taken away from Fed, you wilding right now. You stupid. It's called get with the program. So you like, get with the program. What you see, get with the program. Get with the program.
Have to come up with to fund these deportations. And then also, you know, Gavin Newsom's reported resistance, obviously he seems to be gearing up for another year, and that's 2028.
Well, the Federation for American Immigration Reform has studied this and estimated that the cost to the American people on an annual basis is $150 billion. So to spend $80 billion to save over the next 4 years, $600 billion is actually a very fiscally conservative approach. And that's what the American people demand, because it's not just about dollars and cents, it's also about safety. And if you're not safe, then you're not free. And in Texas alone, Cheryl, we've had in the last 13 years, we've had 299,000 illegal immigrants arrested, charged with over 513,000 crimes that resulted in 187,000 convictions. So imagine what that number is if you extrapolate that over the other 49 states. So if Gavin Newsom wants to go the other way, let him. It'll make California's already, the Californian government can't pay their bills right now, and they're going to incur great cost to fulfill his very far left progressive vision.
Yeah, you can't pay your bills now. California's already suffering. And now you're going to really go after the rest of your little state budget to try to substitute what the federal government was giving you guys. I don't think it's a smart play, Mr. Newsom. And a lot of the followers here and a lot of the people here don't think it's a smart play either. Do you guys? What do you think? Leave your comments in the bottom. Let me know what you guys think. And like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Subscribe, like. Also go over to the website if you like the drip, www.drinkbigdrip.com. And like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Get 'em!